Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Faith, and in our today's tutorial we are going to learn how to make a half double crochet stitch. So what you need is yarn and a crochet hook. I'll be using a 4.0mm hook, and since this is a fingering yarn, we are going to double our strands in order to make it a little bit thicker to achieve the medium weight size. So this is what I recommend for all beginners. You should start with a medium weight size. So if you don't have such type of yarn, if you have a fingering yarn, it's good you double the strands in order to achieve the medium weight size, and that is much easier for beginners. So to begin, we are going to start by making a slip knot. So that's our slip knot. Insert your hook there, and therefore we are going to chain 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. By the time you are watching this video, I hope you know how to make chains, because I already have a tutorial on how to make chains. So after making our 10 chains, in half double crochet stitch, you need to add 2 more chains. In single crochet stitch, as I had explained, you add 1 more chain, but in half double crochet stitch you're going to add 2 more chains, and the 2 chains does not count as a stitch unless otherwise. So put your finger into the 10th stitch and then go ahead and make 2 more chains. And remember, as I had said in this tutorial, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch unless otherwise. I'm going to explain how. So you're going to yarn over, preparing our first half double crochet stitch, and into where we had placed our finger into our 10th stitch, you're going to insert your hook there like that. Therefore you're going to yarn over and therefore pull up a loop, and we'll be having 3 loops in your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull out all the 3. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the next available chain, so this is how we make our half double crochet stitch. You can rewind it again and again for clear understanding. Let's rush into the other side, and by the end we should be having 10 half double crochet stitches. So we'll confirm that when we reach into our last chain there. So by now we should be having 10 half double crochet stitches. Let's confirm. So remember, we said the first one does not count as a stitch. Some people call it a filler stitch. So we start counting here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now for row 2, be careful on this. For row 2, to start our row, you are going to chain 2, but remember I told you sometimes this can be counted as a stitch, and this depends on if you are using a pattern. Some patterns will tell you that the chain 2 counts as a stitch. So if the chain 2 counts as a stitch, what you're going to do after chaining 2, you'll yarn over, and you see if you count from away from the hook 1, 2, 3. So this is our first half double crochet stitch, but since the chain 2 counts as a stitch, so we are going to place our first double crochet stitch into the previous second half double crochet stitch, half double crochet stitch. So instead of placing it here, we are going to place it here. So this is if the pattern you're using is telling you that the chain 2 counts as a stitch. So this is how you'll do it. So let's continue with our second row. So by the end of this row, we should be having 10 half double crochet stitch, but in real sense, we should be having 9 half double crochet stitch and the chain 2, okay? But in other words, if the pattern you're using is saying that chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so you will chain 2, you turn your work, and therefore you count 1, 2, 3. So this is our first half double crochet stitch, the previous half double crochet stitch. So there you're going to place your first half double crochet stitch, since the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And therefore you'll continue making your stitches. Another thing, for a beginner, I'd recommend you use stitch markers. Why? Because sometimes the last stitch, sometimes it's not easy to recognize it. So if you have a stitch marker, it's going to help you for beginners. So you see here, we might think that we are done making our stitches, but no, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You see, and it looks like you are done. So our last stitch should be here, and remember this was a chain 2. So you insert your hook into this is our chain 2, 1, 2. So into the chain 2 is where you're going to place your last half double crochet stitch. So, and that is it. So hope you have understood, and if you have any question about it, just feel free and ask. So the difference between half double crochet stitch and single crochet stitch is that half double crochet stitch is longer compared to single crochet stitch. For example, here we are starting our row number 4, and it's the same here in this single crochet stitch. So single crochet stitch is shorter than half double crochet stitch. So this is it for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you've enjoyed in our today's lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and also remember to turn on the notification bell, so whenever I upload a new video, you'll get notified. So the next video after this, we are going to learn how to make double crochet stitch. So it's a bye for now.